brave souls. I bet there's a few of you who are joining us from home, from the comfort and safety of home. Welcome. My name is Eileen Wiviott. I'm the senior minister here, and I use she, her pronouns. And today I'm the worship associate for Sue Yochum, who will be sharing their spiritual journey today. Whether this is your spiritual home or you are newly discovering this community, we are so grateful that you are with us. We are an inclusive and welcoming community seeking truth and love and striving to nurture the human spirit for a world made whole. We are guided by our principles and values, which remind us in every moment and through every challenge that each of us is worthy of love and that we are all connected through the vast and beautiful web of existence. We come together to remember our kinship with one another and to hold one another in heart and mind with tenderness and with careful attention. If you're joining us online, welcome. There are many links of connection in the description below the YouTube live stream, including the order of service credits, ways to support our mission, and how to join our email newsletter list. And if you're in the sanctuary, we encourage you to use the QR code for the digital order of service or to take one of the large print orders of service, which is located out on the table just before you enter the sanctuary. We also have an inductive loop system for anyone wearing a hearing aid that is equipped with a T-coil. Your hearing aid should automatically connect if you enable the T-coil feature. And for those of you who do not have a T-coil enabled hearing aids, we have receivers that you can pick up that can pick up the loop signal and you can listen through your earphones. That's also located on the table outside of the sanctuary doors. UCE, a few announcements. UCE is launching a local response network to enable our members and friends to take immediate short-term action on local social justice issues. The LRN, the Local Response Network alerts, will be emailed to volunteers inviting you to engage in opportunities affecting our local community. Examples from this past year would have been marching for abortion rights, attending a vigil after the Highland Park shooting, or signing a petition to support the Margarita Inn. There's no obligation to say yes to any particular invitation and no long-term commitment. Joining LRN offers total flexibility to fit any personal schedule. So to learn more or sign up, you can reach out to Carolyn Laughlin through Realm or visit the table in the back of the sanctuary today or contact Reverend Susan. Today, after the service, you can join the Endowment Task Force to review the recommendations presented by the task force. The meeting will be in room 6 and also on Zoom. The link is in Friday's newsletter. And now let us settle into our shared time of reflection, celebration, and inspiration as we begin our worship service. And those joining us online, please gather your chalice as we join in beloved community. Welcome to worship.
Our song, Ma'amin, Ani Ma'amin, is an ancient Hebrew affirmation of faith. The words can be partially interpreted as follows: I believe in God, in a greater truth, and in things greater than this world, in spite of all that has happened. The text is based on a medieval formulation of the 13 basic tenets of the Jewish creed. Jewish tradition holds that the world will become a better place despite all setbacks. Among the most profoundly important pieces of humanity's songbook, Ani Ma'amin, a song that gets far too little play outside of the Jewish world, gained its greatest significance during the Holocaust. Thousands of Jews entered the gas chambers singing it, proclaiming allegiance to God until their last breath. Eyewitness accounts tell us that the music would decrescendo to silence as gas choked the singers. We sing Ani Ma'amin in honor of Holocaust Remembrance Day, which was this past Friday, and out of respect for the faith for which so many millions of souls died. We sing Ani Ma'amin, knowing that if we join hands and hearts and voices and sing the songs of those who suffer, we will learn that while we may be different, we are all truly beautiful. And if we, the people of the world, value all others as beautiful, we can prevent such atrocities from happening again in our lifetimes. This is why we sing. This is what we believe.
Thank you. The Unitarian Church of Evanston resides on the land that was recorded as being transferred from the local Potawatomi community to the U.S. government in 1829, before the Potawatomi were forcefully removed west of the Mississippi River. This land was then sold to white settlers. We remember the hands and bodies of the Black people who built our country's culture and economy, a role forced on them originally by enslavement. We are indebted to their labor and their sacrifice since 1619, acknowledging the tremors of violence throughout the generations and the resulting impact that can still be witnessed today. These acknowledgments are one small effort toward building long-term solidarity with contemporary communities. We commit ourselves to take what we learn here today and incorporate it into our lives and turn our thoughts into actions. To learn more about our congregation's land and labor acknowledgments, please visit our website, and know that the labor acknowledgement is forthcoming. A fuller labor acknowledgement is forthcoming. Let us join in saying this together. We name these realities with honor for all our ancestors, respect for our descendants, and gratitude for the land we use as sacred space. As we light our chalice, symbol of our living tradition, please join in saying these words adapted by Joseph Campbell, and join in saying these responsively. I'll read the plain text and you will read the text in yellow. We have not even to risk the adventure alone. The labyrinth is thoroughly known. And where we had thought to find an abomination, we shall find a God. We will come to the center of our own existence. Where we had thought to be alone, we shall be with all the world. Please rise in body and or spirit and join in saying the words of our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Before we sing our opening hymn, let's turn to one another briefly to say good morning and welcome. Try to say hello to somebody you've not met before. And if you're joining us online, please greet one another in the chat if you haven't done so already. Please remain uplifted as we sing our opening hymn, and please stay after the service today to continue your conversations with folks that you haven't gotten to know yet. Well, let's keep building that kinship among us. Our hymn is number 2, Down the Ages We Have Trod, verses 1, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
on. Is it on? It is on. Good. Good morning. Kathy mentioned labyrinths last week as our one example of some of the spirals that exist in the world around us. And so I wanted to take you on a little labyrinthine journey this morning right here from our sanctuary. I know many of you have gone through labyrinths before. You should have been handed a little paper labyrinth when you entered in. There's also, I'm going to encourage you, if you want to, this is your thing, take out your phone. You can silence it, please, but you can scan the QR code and download a handy-dandy little app that I found, the Labyrinth Journey, which is really cool. Walking a labyrinth is a way of embodying meditation. And even if we can't physically get into a labyrinth, we can imagine ourselves moving through the path and finding calm and wisdom. All our lives are a labyrinth journey. So I invite you to join me now on a journey that we will take separately, but together. Take a deep breath in and begin to relax and focus on the entrance of the labyrinth. Breathe in and breathe out. We start the journey with this short poem called Labyrinth by Reverend Leslie Takahashi. Walk the maze within your heart. Guide your steps into its questioning curves. This labyrinth is a puzzle leading you deeper into your own truths. Listen in the twists and turns. Listen in the openness within all searching. Listen. A wisdom within you calls to a wisdom beyond you, and in that dialogue lies peace. So let's imagine now ourselves shrinking down into the tip of our finger and place your pointer finger, if you can, on your non-dominant hand, because that helps you kind of access a different part of your brain. Enter the labyrinth with your pointer finger, whether you're using the paper one or the app. Slowly trace the pattern of the labyrinth with your finger, allowing your mind to clear from extra thought and focus slowly on following the path of the labyrinth. As you move through it with your finger, imagine your whole body moving through a path just like it. What does your labyrinth look like? Is it built with stones or grasses or high hedges? Immerse yourself in it. Feel the natural elements around you, making a path clear to travel. As you move, breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Move slowly to the center of the labyrinth and rest there for a moment. Taking deep breaths, observe how you feel. What wisdom are you finding on the path? And who is there to meet you at the center? How do you feel when you meet this person at the center? Does your heart feel open, or do you feel shy? Maybe a little protective. Place your hand on your heart. Make a little soft circle. And steady yourself if you're feeling uneasy. After taking a few deep breaths at the center, I invite you to retrace your path out of the labyrinth. Slowly observing, greeting each step. taking in the wisdom of the path. How do you feel now? Welcome back. Thank you for taking this journey. Whenever you need some quiet and a way to center yourself, a way of finding a truth that lies within you, you can either pull out your little app on your phone, not too late to scan the QR code if you want, or keep that paper labyrinth with you and pull it out, or just simply imagine the questioning curves, the wisdom found in the twists and turns. Each of us possesses wisdom within us, and each of us has the ability to access that wisdom whenever we choose. Thank you. And now, as we're feeling all relaxed, we settle further into our time of quiet reflection as we share our joys and sorrows as part of the practice of beloved community. If you have a joy or a sorrow that you would like spoken aloud, you can write it in the Joys and Sorrows book found at the back of the sanctuary doors. Or you could submit it through the Google form found on our website, the homepage of our website, or just simply send me an email. We listen to these offerings with tenderness and respect. We quiet our bodies and our voices and our minds during this sacred time. These are the joys and the sorrows that have been shared before the service today. There are quite a few. Kristin Lems shares a sorrow at the passing of Kitty Johnson, brilliant Evanston retiree, Black teacher in District 65 for many years, leader in groups at Fleetwood Jourdain, and lucky for me on my bus for the uncomfortable journey to Selma and Montgomery, organized by Dear Evanston in 2019. Kitty will live in the Evanston reparations movement. Harry Hirsch shares a joy and a sorrow. He writes, I'm so lucky to have loved two wonderful women. Judith Ramey would have been 85 years old yesterday. Yeah. A joy from Jeannie Rhodes. Great to be back with the UUs, two grandchildren later. Congratulations, Jeannie, and nice to have you back in the choir. A concern for Jennifer, who suffered a severe concussion after a fall. This was not signed, so I'm not sure who this is from, but we hold Jennifer in our hearts. And I'm adding joy and sorrow, I guess. Jay and Norelle Liddell and their kids were in a pretty serious accident yesterday. Jay is here today, and Norelle and the kids and everybody is safe and well, but pretty shaken up. And just a public service announcement of be careful out there, folks. It's slippery and dangerous, and thank goodness, gratitude to the way that cars are built that often keep us safe. In some pretty devastating accidents. So I'm so grateful that you're okay. Carla Williams shared a joy. This is always weird when someone shares a joy, but appreciation for me. Thank you, and back to you. For participation in yesterday's Chicago Area UU Council Conference. I was out in Countryside and Palatine yesterday. On the proposed revisions to our UUA Article 2, speaking to UC's journey toward the commitment to anti-racism and anti-oppression. It was my joy to be able to do that. Thanks for lifting that up. From Andy Fisher, a joy about 2 different communications. One, the opportunity to speak about UCE's Green Team at the Citizens for a Greener Evanston meeting at the Civic Center yesterday. And second, my summaries of 10 of Arthur Ransom's 12 classic books will be published with illustrations from the books in the Winter Tarsus North Pole News. Congratulations, Andy. From Jordan Strieber, it is a joy to have enough stability in my physical health and also access to the necessary mobility equipment to be able to resume attending services in person. I have yet to need to ask to have a door opened, a chair moved, or anything out of my reach grabbed for me because someone is offering to do it before I even realize I need it. I am grateful to be in beloved community with you all. Donna Feldman shared a joy of how wonderful the caring committee is and how helpful the services are that they provide, both rides and meals. She says that she's felt wrapped in a cocoon of a warm, loving community, including the sustenance of delicious meals delivered to her home. The support provided has helped her immeasurably, both practically and emotionally, as she goes through a difficult time in her life's journey. Thank you to all who have helped. You are indeed appreciated. Marion Bates Jeffries, who is often found in the nest, reports, "Look, my baby brother!" David and Ellen happily welcomed the arrival of Robert Latham Bates Jeffries on Wednesday, January 25th, and are excited to introduce him to everyone in the coming weeks. Very exciting. And from Matt Francolini, he writes, this is so touching. I am so proud, he says, to share that my wife, Sydney, is pregnant, but this time as a surrogate. Through this journey, we have made 2 amazing friends, and they're going to be incredible dads. Thanks to some help from Sydney. That is lovely. So happy to be on that journey with you. And a sorrow from Jonna and Will Van Dyke that they have COVID. Sorry about that. Hope that they get better soon. And Erlene Howard and Renee Gatzis share with a heavy heart that Erlene's nephew Matt died last week at 46. He had struggled with alcoholism for decades, though the cause of death is not known. The addiction had taken its toll. Please hold us and Matt's parents, sister, and other family in your loving, caring thoughts. And finally, just to share the lament that is on many of our hearts for the soul and the family of Tyree Nichols and all who have suffered, all who continue to suffer at the hands of senseless violence. May we find a way back from such irreparable harm. This sacred space for our tender offerings is part of our practice of beloved community. Together we expand our celebrations and we lessen the burden of our grief. You are invited now to come forward and light a candle for the joys and the sorrows that are on your heart that may be too tender to say out loud. And if you'd like a candle brought to you, please raise your hand and we will bring a basket. Let us say together, for these joys we give our thanks, for these sorrows we give our love. And join me, if you will, in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Source of infinite and transforming love, accompany us on all of our journeys. Be with us in our sorrows and our struggles. Settle into us and ease our fears. Motivate us to meet one another with courage and with care. The grief of the world is vast, too much for any of us to hold. Remind us when we are lost in despair, anxiety, anger, fear, that there is a power of love so much bigger and stronger than any one of us alone. And each of us has access, is connected to, and very much a part of that power. Help us to remember to hold on to that tether and recognize that power of love in each other, in one another's faces. May the source of love bring our world greater healing and reveal the possibilities for generative change. May we discover and expand joy and beauty on the journey. Blessed be. As we sing our response, which is number 17, every night and every morn, verse 2, we invite our young people, preschool through 6th grade, to head to their faith formation time with their adult leaders. As we say in our covenant, each Sunday service is our law. UCE is called by our mission, our values, and our principles to contribute to our community, to form accountable and lasting partnerships, and to express gratitude through giving. Today's offering will be shared with Community Renewal Society, one of our longtime community partners. The mission of CRS is to inform and bring people of faith together with communities, coalitions, interfaith organizations, and civic leaders to intentionally and decisively transform society toward greater social justice at the intersection of racism and poverty. They work to bring about the vision of beloved community where all people flourish and live with dignity. You may text to give, mail in a check, or give from our website. If you write a check, please indicate in the memo line if your check is for the shared offering or for some other form of giving. The ushers will now come forward to pass the collection bowls down the rows. Please give as generously as you are able, and may what you give Thank you, Gregory. And thank you for your generosity. Our reading is Beyond Borders by Rick Hoyt. Go forth, because we are always going forth from somewhere, going from our homes, our childhoods, going from our cities and countries, going from innocence to experience to enlightenment, going into mystery and questions, going into the desert, getting to the other side. Go forth. Leave behind the comfort and community of one place. Head into the anxiety and loneliness of another. Carry with you the love and laughter of this place, and let it light your way. Carry with you the wisdom you learned and the good memories. May they give you strength for your journey. And when you have been away long enough, far enough, done what you'd set off to do, been there so long that place too starts to feel like home, come back. Come back to the one universal, everywhere and every when and every one inclusive home, this beloved community of all creation that you can never really leave.
Good morning. Y'all look so different from up here. All right. In case I need this. My name is Sue Yochum, and I became a member officially in March, and started coming to UCE after I moved back to Chicago a little over a year ago. So I'm going to see if I know how to use this thing. That's okay.
There's on, and you can put it back there. That's how.
Okay.
Steal a Kleenex while I'm up here.
And maybe it'll work. I wrote a song about my spiritual awakening. It goes, ah! As you can tell, I like a little bit of humor. What is providence? Providence is a noun that means the foreseeing care of God or nature over the creatures of the earth. It can also be defined as God, especially when conceived as omnisciently directing the universe and the affairs of humankind with wise benevolence. Another definition of providence is a manifestation of divine care or direction. But I'll come back to this later. Growing up Catholic in southern Indiana, I was in close contact with several communities of religious women, from family members to teachers to friends and acquaintances. As some of you may know, there are many different communities or orders of religious men and women in the Catholic faith. Each has a different charism, a different emphasis, a different feel within their similarities of being Catholic. The two communities that made the biggest impact on my life were the Sisters of St. Benedict in Ferdinand, Indiana, which is located between Evanston and Louisville. That's a picture that I took around Christmas time of their grounds. And the Sisters of Providence at St. Mary of the Woods, Indiana, just outside Terre Haute. They came to Indiana in 1840 and founded St. Mary of the Woods College, of which I'm a graduate. I had relatives who were Benedictines, and I was taught by the SPs from grade school through college. 3 months after I graduated with a BA in English, I entered formation with the Sisters of St. Benedict at Monastery Immaculate Conception in Ferdinand. At that time, the Sisters of Providence seemed almost impersonal and too worldly. The Benedictines felt like family and community. Both groups of women ministered to people outside of their communities in education and medical fields, in parishes and other church organizations, and in other areas. But it was that focus on intentional community, communal prayer and meals, and work as a form of prayer that drew me in. I spent 2 years and 9 months as a member of the Benedictine monastery. The first 2 years as a postulant and novice were filled with classes on monastic history, the life of St. Benedict, the history of the community I joined, and personal and spiritual growth. While in formation, work tasks were also assigned within the community and on the monastery grounds. After those 2 years, I made temporary vows as a sister. 9 months later, I left community. During those 9 months, classes were still taken in the form of monthly gatherings instead of 5 days a week. And I also experienced different jobs: newspaper reporter, photographer, nurse's aide, and teacher. And it was during those 9 months that I realized I was growing in my knowledge of myself. And I was unhappy. If I was unhappy, I was unhealthy. And my conversion took me from, I need to leave, but I owe community too much, to, if I owe community anything, it is to be happy and healthy. And I must leave for that to happen. This was an aha moment for me. I don't remember much about the next 10 years, but I'm aware of the ever-continuing growth and changes. A few relationships, a few jobs later, recognizing that I can embrace both my Catholic upbringing and pagan insights, and becoming a UU. All led me to know I had outgrown where I was and needed to start fresh. Wanderlust set in, and after 10 years in the Chicago area, over the next 15 years, I lived in 8 city areas in 4 states. I held at least 9 different jobs, joined 4 different UU communities, but I was always learning and growing, especially through several relationships, time with family, and time alone. Always defining myself in ways I've been more and more comfortable with. In 2016, I decided to finally embrace who I needed to be for myself as a non-binary person. I started hormone replacement therapy and embraced myself as transmasculine. And I realized that the best gift to myself and others was and is to be who I need to be in my own skin and spirit. Today, that means not only female and not only male, but both and more. I'm still growing into that, and growing into being happy and healthy in body, mind, and spirit. And being open to who I really am and need to be is sacred and always has room for growth. That openness has brought me to a career I love and the ability to trust a relocation process. It's allowed me to advocate for myself and others. And it's continued the growth process so important for me to constantly change into who and what I am. There's more pictures of Ferdinand, the inside of their chapel. I'll come back to these next 2 in a minute. But remember that definition from a few minutes ago? Years ago, providence was just a word, something that was not tangible in my life or understanding. And a year and a half ago, I knew I needed something. I looked to the 2 communities of religious women so impactful upon my life. Both communities, the Benedictine and the Providence Sisters, have lay or non-religious groups associated with them. I already carried the influence of both groups with me throughout my life. The quiet contemplative and the advocate ready to live action. I have seen what we call the divine working in my life and in the lives of others. And that divine has many names and representations. The word providence for me envelops all of that and more. And so I applied to begin a year of candidacy with the Providence Associate Program, the lay group associated with the Sisters of Providence. And that's some of the campus at St. Mary of the Woods. And the inside of their chapel. That candidacy year began after I moved back to Chicago and after my first Sunday here at UCE. A year of reading and journaling. A year of monthly conversations with a mentor. And a year of redefining providence and myself. A year of personal growth and struggle, both physical and emotional. And this past October of 2022, a year after my return to Chicago, I became a Providence Associate. That is the group in my class, so to speak. It's not just knowing and saying I choose to advocate for myself and others, but making the dedication to myself and others to be that advocate. It's knowing and seeing that growth is always happening and that the state of stagnation is not healthy. It's letting those signs of truth and justice flow through that advocacy and education. And it's showing others that providence is more than just that definition or group of definitions. But it's also that sacred thing that embraces all of us. And I'm happy. I'm healthy. And I'm sacred. Thank you very much for letting me share today.
Thank you so much, Sue, for sharing that, sharing your journey. It's a powerful, powerful example of discovery. And I'm so glad it led you here. Yeah. And I really appreciate, that's one of the things I really appreciate about our community is that people can carry with them all of the aspects, all the tools and the resources they've gained on their journey to lead them into the future with us together. Kristin Larsen was planning to share her journey today as well, and I was really looking forward to hearing it, but she and I were both in the same membership class together in 2002. But she let me know last night that she's simply not able to be here this morning. And as many of you know, Kristin and Craig have been through a lot in the last 2 years with their health issues. And in recent weeks, Kristin has been caring for a friend who is recovering from having a brain tumor removed. So obviously that was a good reason to not be able to share her journey this morning, but she will share it another time. Sharing our stories is important. Sharing our spiritual journeys is a powerful way of deepening our connection to one another and to knowing ourselves more deeply, to remember that we are not alone. Each of us is on a unique path, and the journey within to the center of that labyrinth can be the most terrifying quest. It can feel sometimes that we are completely separate from others. It can be hard to reach out as we emerge from the center. But I want to remind you, I want us to all remember that though we have our own unique journeys of discovery into the center of our souls, each of our journeys intersect, overlap, and intertwine, and none of us is truly alone. All of us have what we need within us to make that quest. I want to close with all of us sending a little prayer or a wish of healing and wellness to Kristin and Craig and their friend. May they be well. May they be happy and healthy. May they be free from suffering. May we be well. May we be happy and healthy. May we be free from suffering. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy and healthy, and may all beings be free from suffering. May we have the courage on the journey that we need. May we continue to inspire, encourage, and transform one another. And may we meet with joy, continue to share our journeys and stories, and listen to one another with care. Amen. Blessed be. As we extinguish the chalice, please join in saying the words on the screen by the Reverend Elizabeth Sell Jones. We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 318, We Would Be One. Our benediction is by Rumi. There is a life force within your soul. Seek that life. There is a gem in the mountain of your body. Seek that mine. O traveler, if you are in search of that, don't look outside, look inside yourself and seek that. Amen and blessed be.